What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video. Looks like we're starting off here with a deadlift workout. Big surprise there. And something I want to mention, whenever I edit these videos, I kind of have an idea of what I did during the workout, but usually they're like weeks back, so sometimes it feels like I'm watching it for the first time like you guys are, so here we go. But, pretty standardized when it comes to warm-ups. We're really just calibrating, doing the same stuff over and over again. And just getting to that working weight, that's the name of the goal. You calibrate and keep an eye on your sets. That's really all you really need to do is figure out how to get efficiently to the working weight so you don't waste any energy. And that's going to take time and effort to really just determine for yourself. I find sometimes, I guess I used a belt today. I think I spent too much time talking and got cold. So usually I only use the belt on the second, actually no, not the second, the last set of warm-ups, and then right before the first working set, and that's kind of what I've been doing. So sometimes if I'm not feeling too great, I'll lock in the belt just to get that confidence back, and honestly it's not like a loss of strength. Some days you're just not feeling as powerful off the ground, and confidence is key when lifting weights. Usually any sort of deviation can potentially lead to injury. You may overthink, something may not fire correctly and you could hurt yourself. So better safe than sorry. Does a belt add weight to your lifts? Probably, but I think more of it's mental and just a confidence thing. Sometimes when you have that feedback from the belt pushing against you, it just helps you, retain more rigidity in what you're doing. You can do it without, though, but anytime you're pushing off something, like if you're jumping, you can gain more momentum and forward travel going that way. So it's kind of like the same thing. You can make these slight modifications. It's like when you have points of contact on a bench. That's why, like a traditional bench press, you can usually do more weight compared to like a Larson press where you're kind of removing that aspect. So I like to think about it that way. And especially on squats, I like my belt. Like I said, I complain about not liking them, but you still got to do them in some capacity. And it just helps keep my mind at ease and also helps me brace my core, which when I'm warming up, that's why I don't use the belt. Once I get to those top sets, that's when I do lock in, because it's about moving the weight, progressive resistance, and kind of going from there. So ultimately, you don't need it. I did a couple of blocks where I just went beltless. I found the recovery was a bit hard. It's you're removing a tool in your training. The stimulus is a little bit different. So you really feel every side effect of that, which is not a bad thing, but just for like longevity's sake, because I was doing so many compounds, that was just something that I could use to help make my workouts more efficient. Obviously, you could train beltless the whole time. You're probably going to have to recalibrate the weights. You can probably get back to where you were, though, but, it's a tool designed to get the job done, so why not take advantage of it? And it just helps, with everything else. Lift safe, so you can lift for a long time, make progress, and grow whatever you're looking to grow. So, started going lighter on the hybrid rows. On this downturn, I was starting to really feel, the fatigue. Our weather was changing. Whenever that happens to me, I just tend to, I'm not getting sick though, but I just feel like the healing process, the recovery process isn't as efficient. So I get myself in that hole a little bit deeper. When things are ideal, it's easy to train when everything feels good. So T-bar row here, and usually once that trajectory starts to happen, I know, okay, I need to fix something with diet. I work out great when it's warm and I walk into a warm gym environment, just a good place to be. These colder, drier months, lack of vitamin D, and just not feeling the greatest, you know what I mean? I get eczema and stuff like that, and everything's flaring, so I just do what I can to kind of standardize and make sure I feel good when I work out. You're going to be uncomfortable, but you can try to control the factors that you're going to be able to control. The most important part of any hobby, not even the gym, but just any hobby, anything you do that you like to do, is just showing up and performing what you need to perform. The more experience you can get with almost anything, the better you're going to get at it. And you need to factor in all those factors, recovery and stuff like that. So you really just have to determine the best way for you to recover and how much volume you can recover from. So transitioning over here to our second day. And I'm going to try to mess around with these transitions. I don't know. I want a more cohesive kind of flow into the lift and the day there. So, I don't know. Let me know if you guys like it. I'm always trying to do some more graphic design elements and stuff too, though. Not the best at them, so we'll try and see what works. But going into this OHP workout, the last few weren't too great. So I was just kind of doing what I can. And ultimately for me, I'd rather get the work, the reps, and everything else in to be able to practice that and kind of go forward. So sometimes you just got to sacrifice the weight, just practice the movements and do reps. So usually this is why I recommend calibrating your warm-ups. So I knew on that first set, okay, you know what, we're going to have to temper our expectations. And then at the end of the workout, you can see what the projected weight I was supposed to lift was, and we didn't get anywhere near that today. And that's the game. You got to pull back sometimes and go from there. So I definitely like to use the same weights to calibrate. So 155, obviously not moving it anywhere near as quickly and as efficiently as it has in the past. So I know, okay, probably don't have that upper limit in me today. And I think I did attempt to try it. I didn't film it. And to avoid injury, just don't even attempt it. Move on, find another alternative, do the movement, and then let yourself recover and go from there. And that comes from experience. You have to know that. You have to be able to tell the signs that your body isn't functioning the way it should. So my bench is moving fine, which is leading me to believe it was a shoulder overhead thing. So maybe stretch the lats, get sort of blood flow into the shoulder, mobility, stuff like that. But, you know, if that happens in the workout, just take the L, move on, do what you can, and make adjustments. A lot of the other hypertrophy stuff is going to get some blood flow in there. And, you know, sometimes if you're OHPing or benching after like a squat day and you squat low bar, that can affect that too, so you have to account for that. So just play it by ear, and some weeks you're not going to notice it, but as you start to approach high training, fatigue, things along those lines, you'll have to make those decisions yourself. And you can always taper back, you know, like taking a workout, not off, but reducing, you know, the weight, the intensity temporarily to practice the movements, allow yourself time to heal, come back and do it again. I mean, nothing is linear in this type of space when you're a beginner, maybe. But like I said before, it's all about hours put in the gym, sets done, reps done. Be smart about it. So I ended up dropping the weight here on the dumbbell OHP, and I figured this would also be a nice test to see how, you know, my range of motion was. And I felt fine here, so it must have just been the barbell where it was positioned. Obviously the dumbbells you can manipulate, so I just wanted to get some reps in there, just kind of showing you from the side here. You know, just gotta work out, you know, that range of motion, but I find if I go too low, I overstress my shoulder, and I've got long forearms, so I just have to mitigate that. What I'm going to start doing is kind of rotating that elbow inward slightly, so it's more of a 45 and less of a, you know, straight angle like that on the shoulder, just to get some more. So more dumbbell flies here, and I tempered these too. It felt like the chest wasn't impacted, so it must have been some, you know, rotational thing in the shoulder to really cause issues on OHP. And sometimes with that straight bar, it's a little bit more complicated just because you don't have as much you know, power to change the angle of the movement. You're kind of locked in. You can go wider, narrower, but you really can't alter the angle like you can with dumbbells, and that's why they're useful for all types of training. You know, you just have to use what works for you, and you got to learn these tips and tricks. Like, nobody can really tell you exactly what's going to work for your body. You just have to kind of experience that, be humble, listen to it. If you start pushing things and you're used to pushing things and something snaps, you really have nobody else to blame but yourself, so you really have to think these through, reevaluate, and make changes that will benefit you going forward. So, you know, just lower the weight, change an exercise, go from there. You have freedom to do whatever you want. So that's the workout here. Finishing up. Got some new stuff coming soon. There's going to be a slight change, and you'll see as we go through. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff, and you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.